Ese Cholo.
Oh, way over here on the side. Let's see. There we go. All right, what's up, familia? Welcome inside the hotel room. Hope you guys are doing good. Keep it between the lines. Get your load secure. Let's see. Andrew, Yule. Vanessa La Chingona, Yule. Girlfriend, how you doing? All right, man. Actually, let me. Well, you know what? Let me use. Shoot. Where's the other one at? I'll make sure since I'm in the hotel room that I got this plugged in right. Let me see. Let me plug. Okay, let me use this one here. This is very, very unprofessional of me. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. Cubo as a trucker. You'll be right back. All right. Um, it was a long day. It was a long day. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I'm a little sleepy, but I gotta let the food settle a little bit before I actually crash out. Um, so actually a few things. You ready for the round fight? Yeah, dog. I'm gonna have a nice little bolo at the pad, and yeah, let's see what happens, man. Definitely gonna be talking about that on Friday on the Stretching on his boxing for dang sure. So a couple of things that I want to talk about before I bring a few other things up, but um, one thing is that Cain Velasquez is home. He was released from prison. Now, I remember I do the round table, right? But I had stepped away from the round table and now I'm back doing the round table again. It had been a while that all this went down. If you guys remember the whole story about his son getting molested, right? And that drove Kane haywire. And he gets a strap, goes out there, going after the guy that did it, Eric Galarte or something like that. Which we'll talk about him on another one. But because that guy, he's still like his case is still going. It's crazy. It's crazy that Kane served his time. He's out, and this Harry Galarte guy, his case is still ongoing. That is just like mind blowing, dog. Just how slow the wheels turn. But Kane didn't actually end up shooting him. He ended up shooting, I think, like his stepfather or something like that. That was in the car with them. And at first it looked like they were trying to throw the book at Kane. I don't think they ever really were, but nonetheless, he went and served his time, and he's out. The horrible, horrible thing about all this is that his son, that was, let me put you guys' chats over here. There it is. The Wow, we'll get to that, Andrew. We're gonna get to that. Um, the horrible thing about all that is that his son went that much time, went a few years without his dad in a time that he needed his dad the most. You know, if his son was getting sexually molested and for speaking up, his dad goes away. Now, it wasn't that easy. Of course, Cain committed a crime, okay? But as jacked up as it is that everybody's all like, oh man, why did Cain have to do time, and all that stuff. I mean, he did go out on a rampage. I'm not against it. I look, to me, homie, I really don't care, dog. If he would smoke both of them dudes, you know what I mean? But I'm not the law. You know, if he actually did do that, he'd still be incarcerated. So, um, what sucks about all this, that his son, who was sexually molested, went that much time without his dad, in a time where he needed dad, in a time where he physically needed that strong man in his life to be in his life after being sexually molested. Now, we don't know to what degree he was sexually molested. At least I don't know. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys know. Maybe some of you guys have dug deep into the case. I'll be real with you guys. I haven't dug all that deep into the case. So I don't know how bad or how long he was being molested for. But that is the that was the only thing that was crossing my mind, man, when Cain finally went home on Sunday. Well, I was just like, damn, man, it's been a few years, you know, and the son went that much time without his dad, and he needed dad at that time after going through something like that for as long or as little as it went, for as bad or, I mean, it's all bad, but what was the molestation? Was he just having the kid touch him or something stupid like that? I mean, it's all sick, don't get me wrong. Or was he actually raping them? But nonetheless, dog, that was the thing that was on my mind. It was just like, damn, that's Gacho. He needs dad at this time, and he wasn't there, dog. So hopefully, hopefully the kid gets a little bit of therapy. Hopefully, Kane is in good spirits and is able to be there for his son. And it's gonna be a long process. I'm telling you guys that right now, dog. It's not gonna be just real quick. It's gonna be a long process. I've said this before about molestation, right? And I've shared my story, but I said this about molestation. Um, it leaves scars where you need repairing. It's not just, okay, we removed you from the situation. All right, there. It ain't never gonna happen to you again. So there, you're good. It's like, no, because there's a lot of damage. That person is now, they're all jacked up inside. You gotta go and repair that damage. Right? It's like if somebody gets a sledgehammer and starts beating on your car. It's like, damn, hey, stop this dude from beating on my car. You know what I mean? He takes a couple of good swings at it, dents it, scratches the paint, breaks the windshield, all that stuff. And the Hudas come, they get that dude and they lock him up. And they're like, hey, there, that's it. He will never damage your car again. It's like, okay, but my car is all jacked up, Holmes. Yes, I get it. He's not going to damage my vehicle anymore. I understand that. But the damage is done. My car needs repair. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So this kid, I don't know if he's been going to therapy since Cain, this whole time that Cain was incarcerated. I don't know what's been going on. But at least with Cain coming home, it's a good sign for his son that he can spend time with his son, talk to his son. His son hopefully can open up to his dad, talk to him about it, and hopefully the healing process can start because it's going to be a long journey. It's not over. It's going to be a long journey. And I don't know how old this kid is. I think, wasn't he like 5 years old? Wasn't he like 5 years old when all this went down? He was a little kid. He was a little kid. He wasn't that big. He was like 5, 6, 7 years old. He was a little kid. So what is he now? What about 10 years old or 9 years old. I don't even know. Because Cain, all this went down somewhere like in 2022 or something like that. So it's gonna be a long process, everybody. It's gonna be a long process. But I really truly do hope that they don't try to put this behind them. And that's one thing that's a big mistake. That is a big mistake for families just to come out and just be like, you know what? We're just trying to get on, we're just gonna get on with our lives and put all this behind us. No, 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 no. This doesn't go away. That kid is damaged. You just can't put it behind you. You need to face it. You need to heal those wounds. Because if you don't, this kid's gonna end up getting all jacked up as he start getting into some stupid stuff. Possibly even, you know, possibly even, become a Chester his damn self, right? So you gotta address this. It just can't be now, not to the public. I don't mean to the public, but for the family, it just can't be like, you know what? Kane is home, the family's together. Let's act like none of this ever happened and let's move on with our lives. That would be one of the worst things they can do. That would be one of the worst things they can do. Pretending like this never happened. The best thing they can do is like, okay, now dad is home. Now we're going to fight this. Now we're going to make sure that this demon, that this fool put into our son, that we are going to exorcise this demon. We're going to heal these wounds. This is not going to ruin our son for the rest of his life. But does anybody remember how old was Cain's son when all this went down? He was a little kid. He was a little kid. I don't remember how old he was. Let me see. Yeah, I see you guys right here in the chat. Say gracias, Vanessa. Appreciate that. So you think about, yeah, we'll get to that, Andrew. Most of the time they can three strike man for simple drugs. I don't get it, Eddie. I never get it. I don't get these light sentences for pedophiles, dog. I never understood it. I don't get what the heck is going on with all this. This is some sort of sick fetish. It's not it's not like a crime, dog. It's not like I'm gonna go rob a liquor store. That you can get out of your system. I was young and dumb and doing something stupid, right? But this, homie, hooking up with little ass kids, that's not that's not a crime like that. That's not where it's like, I'm just getting it out of my system. That's not that type of crime. That's not one of those things. Hey, you're just young and dumb. That no, no, no. There's something sick, and it needs to be addressed. It's not just, well, we'll lock you up for a little bit, and 24 months later, you'll be free to go. You serve your time. Like, okay, the dude is still sick in the head. He still has this fetish. So I don't get it, dog. What's up, party familia? Gracias, big dog. Now Kane is home. Yes, he is home. Now it's time to fight the battle, man. Now it's time to fight the battle. Kyo Cholo, what's happening? That's it. Kyo Anthony, bravo. What's going on, homegirl? How you doing? I called off work today. There you go. Playing hooky, huh? Let's see, little boy, need help, him and parents. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's topic for today. Well, we got a few topics, man. I want to start with Kane. He's home. Good for him. I just want to make it clear that they just can't put this behind them. To the public, they don't know the public anything. They could tell the public that and just say, like, you know what, we're just trying to put this behind us and move forward as a family. That's fine for the public. But for them as a family, they should not do that. That is the worst thing they can do because that kid is going to drown in those wounds that he has internally. Now that Kane is home, now they can address this as a family, and it's going to be a long process for his son to heal. You don't want your son to go with these wounds, struggling in life, and like I said earlier, possibly even getting one of these sick fetishes, dog. Because I hear that. I hear that pretty often. I hear that pretty often. Okay, now that justice has been served. And by the way, that Harry Galarte guy, that dude, his case is still ongoing, which is mind blowing. But um, I hear that a lot. Like, well, now that justice is served, now that it's all said and done, we're just gonna move forward as a family and try to put this behind us. No, no, you gotta face this head on. You guys gotta sit down. You guys gotta go to a therapist as a family. The child himself, son and father, need to have some good bondship, uh, some time for dad to spend with his son, so his son can realize what it's like to be around a good, strong man and not some punk ass fool that's trying to get into his pants. That's damaging. That's very, very damaging. So um I really hope they really take this head on, man, as a family and destroy that demon that this Harry Galarte dude uh instilled in this kid. Let me see. Still at State Line, homie. I'm back. I haven't been here, dog. I'm back. So yeah, I'm back here at State Line. Happy belated birthday, Pomona. P-Town, was it your birthday, Holmes? Orale, dog. Gotta jump that vato, Holmes. When was the last time? All right, so I just want to address that. Cain Velasquez is home. God bless him. God bless his family. Thank God he's home. To me, the worst thing about all this is that he was away from his son when his son really needed him the most. And hopefully now they can come together as a tight knit family, and hopefully they don't try to let's just try to forget about this and move forward. Like, no, 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 no. Address this, kill that demon. Okay, defeat that demon because your son is deeply scarred. All right. I don't know how far it went. Did this fool just have, the little kid touch him, or was he touching the little kid? Did he actually rape him? I don't know. It's all sick, and the kid needs some help. So hopefully, as a family, they can go ahead and kill that demon. So, um, when was the last time anybody jumped someone for their birthday, dog? That used to be the thing, Holmes. That used to be the thing. I wonder if that's PTSD, dog, that nobody wants to say when their birthday is. Everybody wants to stay away from it because how many of us got jumped for our birthdays, Holmes? It's because the elites do it so they don't want to make the consequences severe. Uh, I don't know, man. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, you know, the trafficking and all of that, it's a huge business, man. It's a huge business. That's wrong. They have to think. Let's see. Pete Town. Yeah, when was the last time anybody got jumped for their birthday, dog? Or the last time you jumped somebody for their birthday? Happy belated birthday, Pete Town. Okay, the mind never forgets. The mind never forgets. No, but you can heal the wounds. The scars are still gonna be there, but you could heal the wounds. Because if not, if you just let this go, man, this kid's gonna end up all jacked up. He's gonna end up all jacked up. So hey, Pete Town, happy birthday to you, big dog. Happy birthday to you. Let's see, it was on Tuesday, huh? Okay, man. Sapo Verdes to Pete Town, man. All right, so that was one thing I wanted to talk about. That King came home. Something else I want to talk about. Let me bring this up. Oh, I just looked at it right now. It says copyright. Ah, damn it. All right, well, anyway, so the Daytona 500 was over the weekend. Now, it might blow your mind away, but I actually do like NASCAR. Okay, now I'm not going to get on nerdy on NASCAR here. I'm just going to point this out. Tyler Reddick won the Daytona 500. Does anybody know who that is? Probably not. Okay, but I will tell you guys this. Tyler Reddick is the sixth California driver to win the Daytona 500. From one all the way to six, baby. Killer Cali is tearing it up in the Daytona 500. The first time a California driver won the Daytona 500 was all the way back in 1990. Okay, this is a straight Southern redneck sport. Yes, I like NASCAR. I do. I don't like the Rovos. When the Rovo first came, I'm not gonna get into NASCAR. Okay, I'm gonna get to the whole Michael Jordan thing. All right, I just want to throw this out there, dog. When they brought the whole Rovo thing in, I was just like, that sounds freedom, man. That sounds badass. And then I saw it, and I'm like, the Rovo sucks. The Rovo sucks. And I don't like the road courses either, like Sonoma and all that stuff. I don't like that either, dog. But I do like NASCAR. It's not my favorite sport, but I do like it. I do keep up with it. I watched the Daytona 500. That is a must. And now that Tyler Reddick won it, that is the sixth California driver that has won a Daytona 500. Wild Wild West Side, Killer Cali, baby. That's right, man. That is right. I'm down with that, Holmes. So anyway, Tyler Reddick, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is not to talk NASCAR with you guys, but I don't know if you guys saw this story. Michael Jordan, yes, the Michael Jordan, yes, as some will say, the greatest basketball player of all time. All right. Michael Jordan is actually owner in NASCAR. Okay. And Tyler Reddick is his driver. Now he's co owners with Denny Hamlin, who drives the number 11 car. So the name of the team is 2311. 2311, 23 because that was Michael Jordan's number, and 11 because that's Denny Hamlin's number. And Denny Hamlin is one of the best that there is today and for the last few years, right? So they came together and they started a NASCAR team. So Tyler Reddick wins the Daytona 500. So now Michael Jordan, who's out there, and by the way, Michael Jordan stands out. Okay, he stands out, not just because he's black, because there's a few black people, believe it or not, there's a few black people um, in the NASCAR teams when it comes to the pit stops and all that. Okay, but that dude's still tall. Michael Jordan is right. So he's out there every NASCAR Sunday or when they do Saturday night races. You guys could tune in and you guys could see Michael Jordan because he's out there. Um, so his driver Tyler Reddick wins, and Tyler Reddick has a 6-year-old son. And Michael Jordan is over there celebrating the Daytona 500 victory. He won as an owner, right? Tyler Reddick is his driver. So they're out there celebrating. And for those who don't know, Daytona 500 is the Super Bowl of NASCAR. It's the very first race on the circuit. They do things backwards, okay? It's the very first race, but they consider that like the Super Bowl, okay? And then the season starts. Or the season starts with the Daytona 500. The whole point system, everything starts with. Anyway, like I said, I'm not gonna get all nerdy with you guys on NASCAR, man, because I know you guys don't care. But anyway, so Michael Jordan is over there celebrating with his team, with Tyler Reddick and everything, and Tyler Reddick has a 6-year-old son there. Okay, now Tyler Reddick is not even really paying attention too much. Michael Jordan is there, and there's footage, mainly pictures of Michael Jordan over there sticking his hand up the little kid's shirt. All right. Now, there's been different videos made about it, like, oh man, he just ruined his career, Oh, what's he doing? Sticking his hand up a little kid's shirt. Now, here's the story that MJ gave. All right. The story that he gave is that he wasn't trying to slam dunk the little kid. All right. He gave that there was ice because when you celebrate in the NASCAR circuit. I mean, there's a lot being thrown around, man. People are just throwing beers and all kinds of stuff, right? So that he ended up throwing ice on the little kid, and the little kid was like, "Ah, it's cold," so that MJ was trying to get the ice off his back. Look, is that possible? Yes, it's possible. Do I believe it? I mean, I don't. It's my look. MJ doesn't strike me as that kind of dude. Although he was a little bit of a womanizer here and there. He had his days, right? Um, I don't have any reason to believe that Michael Jordan's over there trying to get at a little kid, especially right then and there like that. All right. So do I believe it? I guess I would say I believe it, but I don't know that to be true. Okay. Now, I will tell you guys this. I will tell you guys this. Me, myself personally, I would never do that. All right. I coached my son's teams all through their childhood. They're grown ups now, they're in their 20s. But every sport that they were in, I was a part of. Okay. I made sure never to touch kids like that, dog. Not happening. You know, to each their own. Look, I see adults. I do see adults get pretty comfortable with kids. I don't I don't want kids hugging me. I don't want kids coming and sitting on my lap. I don't want kids I don't really want kids anywhere around me, honestly. But that's just me. But I see adults get very, very comfortable with kids, man. They pick them up, they kiss them, they hug them, and I'm like, I just that ain't me, dog. That ain't me. So I can see, and by the way, Tyler Reddick spoke on this too. He was interviewed, I think, by was it by Stephen A. Smith? I forgot who he was interviewed by, but he said that as well. Are they just saying that? Heck if I know. But I mean, it did look off. And like I said, to me personally, dog, to me personally, sticking your hand down a little kid's shirt, that's that's way off. I mean, the only thing that would be worse if you're sticking it down his shorts. But like I said, dog, when it comes to little kids, he's 6 years old, but just nah, man. Nah, just not a good look for MJ. So now MJ is over there trying to defend himself. Tyler Reddick is over there trying to put a good word for him. And, I think this will blow over. I think it would. I think it's going to blow over. I don't think there's going to be too much about it unless something else comes forward, right? Usually, when something like this happens and you hear somebody else come forward, hey, you know what? I didn't want to say anything, but many years ago, Michael Jordan was taking a picture with my son or something like that. And, he grabbed him or touched him this way. And then more stories start coming out. That can happen. That can happen. So, um, I don't think MJ was really doing anything like that. Let me see. There was a big pedal with MJ and NASCAR. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't think it was much of anything. I really don't, man. I believe MJ, but I'm not gonna say I'll vouch for him because I don't know. I just think he needs to realize, like, dog, don't get handsy with a kid like that. Unless it's some sort of emergency, right? I mean, if the kid is on fire or something like that, yeah, you're gonna need to put hands on the kid to put the fire out. If it's an emergency, of course, obviously. But hey, Lisa, how you doing, girlfriend? But yeah, I think people are just trying to make a little too much of it. Like I said, unless MJ has some previous history that we don't know about. And all it takes is one story like this to happen where more people come out and say, like, hey, you know what? Back in 1996, MJ did this or something like that, and then here comes the snowball effect, right? So hopefully it has much to do with nothing, man. Let's see. When you're on the spotlight, you have to watch what you do. Yeah, and I think, Anthony, I think in his case, I don't think he feels like he was doing anything wrong. Because like I said, um, I see quite a few people get so comfortable with kids to a point where I would be like disgusted to do that. I see I've been to family parties, right? Not with my family, but to other people's families parties, right? And their friends come over and the kids are there and like, oh hi, and they pick up the kids and they give them a kiss on the cheek and they hug them and they sit down and they play with them and I'm like, I don't know, dog. That's just like I can't help think that that's weird. But at the same time, I do see that pretty often where it's like, okay, maybe it's just me. Like I see people that with kids that are not their own kids, they're just there at a little birthday party or something and they're eating and it's like, the I don't know, family's friend kid or whatever, man. They come sit on the lap and it's like, oh yeah, and we'll just eat like that and everything. Oh, and how you been at school? It's like, oh, you can have a kid sitting on your lap. Homie, it's not your kid. Like I don't know, man. To me, I'm just not down with that. But I've seen it so much. So like I said, maybe it's just me. Maybe maybe a lot of people just show affection like that to kids. Doesn't mean that they're weird. I can't help but think that maybe there's a little bit of weirdo in them. But like I said, maybe it's just me, dog, because I wouldn't do that. I don't want to be hugging and kissing kids that aren't mine. Heck, I don't even hug and kiss. I mean, I hug my sons, but I'm not over there kissing them. Let's see. Let's see. Section is gacho. Yeah, dog. Let me see. See, I want to play this video, but now that I look at it, it says copyright on it. So I don't want to play that. Instead, let me go ahead and play this here. Let me talk about this right here. No, that sucker's too long. Let me find a shorter one. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna bring this up right now. Hang on. Bear with me. I'm not at home. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. Let's talk about this right here. I know I'm all over the road talking about different things. But I want to go ahead and talk about this. Mm, this is shout outs to ET Transport. Let me unmute this. Talking about the rate of divorce when it comes to truckers here. Watch out.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Liam DeBoer. I'm here with ET Transport, and today we're going to try and figure out what's what when it comes to divorce rates within the trucking industry. Personal accounts always tilt in the direction of high divorce rates, but consensus data points towards marriage stability. Well, which one is it? Let's get into it and find out. One thing we can all be certain of is being the spouse of a truck driver puts a new spin on the term marriage. If you're new to the industry, there may be a looming sense of relationship doom, or that you'll even struggle finding.
I've said this before, dog. I've said this before. It takes an incredible, special woman to be married to a truck driver. Happily married. Let me make sure. Happily married. There's many women that are married to truckers. I'm talking about happily married. Just because you're married doesn't mean you're happy. Okay? It takes a very special type of woman to be happily married to a trucker. All right, let's go.
A committed partner. However, if you've been married to a truck driver for some time, or are the driver yourself, you've probably adjusted to the lifestyle. There's no shortage of bad analogies for what it's like to be in a relationship with a truck driver. A lot of these come in the form of questions from people who don't understand and can't even really comprehend the lifestyle. They usually sound something like, so it's like being single for most of the month, or, oh, so you're like a single parent in a sense, or your spouse is always away, how do you even talk? As if there aren't things like telephones. Now, admittedly, they aren't wrong in assuming being away for weeks at a time can add strain to a relationship.
It's easier to be in communication with your spouse now more than ever before, especially with screen time and all that stuff, right? Still doesn't make up for the person not being there.
When we recently held a poll asking our followers why the divorce rates of truckers are so high, we found it boils down to just two issues. One, the long distance kiss me through the phone nature of the relationship, and two, trust. Although, despite those being the two main driving factors, they were not equally weighted. 82% of people chalked up divorces to the majority of their time being spent on the road, while only 9% said cheating or a lack of trust was a factor.
You know, these polls, I've made, I gave this example before when I talked about cheesecake, right? Like these polls where it's like, hey, this is scientific evidence. Is it? Is it? I mean, how do you know everyone's telling the truth? There's really no science to this. I mean, you could get somewhat of an idea. Um, too much time away from home. Yeah, look, I mean, depending on how long you're on the road, that's for dang sure. I mean, if you're really OTR, you could be gone for 2 months at a time. You know, that's yeah. In that case, I would say like, man, the family life just ain't for you.
Let's tackle these independently. Being away from home for long periods of time is undoubtedly a negative factor in any relationship. Communication is a pillar of any marriage, and while yes, it may not be as simple as saying, I hope you have a good day on the way out the door, it's not anywhere near impossible to maintain a proper line of communication with your spouse while you're on the road. Hell, the average couple at home spends more time staring into screens than they do each other's eyes. So what?
That's another thing. That's another thing. It's like, okay, well, if your spouse was home, what would you really be doing? But I don't think that that's even really the issue. I think the issue is just having the option that your spouse is there, right? And here's the thing: if you are on the road, and whenever you come home, you think that it's time for you to kick your feet up and relax. Well, no, it's not. Now it's time to be super dad. It's time to be super husband. It's time to remind them why you are worth waiting for. You may want to come home, be like, okay, cool, freedom, man. I'm just gonna relax. I'm just gonna relax. Like, no, no. Now it's time to be super self, right? Super dad, super husband. Let them know, like, hey, this is why it's worth being in this type of lifestyle.
It's worse, knowing your spouse isn't around but wants to be, or is at home but seemingly doesn't want to be. On the cheating note, trust is an issue for many couples that see each other every day. Sometimes people who date long-haul drivers fear that their trucker will also date people in other towns and along their routes. Or
Okay, so the female right there. I said this before, I'm gonna say it again. I have never, I'm sure it exists. I'm sure it exists. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying I have never come across it. I have never, ever came across a female trucker that has a husband waiting for her at home. Now, maybe there's quite a few females like that. I'm saying I have never came across a female trucker who has a husband waiting for her at home. If she's married, either he's a trucker or she has a boyfriend somewhere in some state that she'll visit every so often, or by far, the biggest percentage of female truckers I come across, by far, they're single. And if they're in a relationship, it's some boyfriend, in Indiana or in somewhere in Texas or somewhere. And whenever they're around, they'll go ahead, stop, and give them, pay them a visit. Very rarely do I come across female truckers that are married, and the ones that I do come across that are married, their husband is on the road as a trucker as well. But I have never come across a female trucker who is on the road and her husband, he's a mechanic. He has a regular 9 to 5 and he kicks it at home. That I haven't come across.
Get cozy with a lot lizard at the first stop. That being said, there isn't any data that supports the claim that cheating is in the trucking industry is more common than any other profession. And I'd argue that there are more cheats per capita on Wall Street than in trucking. Now, I want to be clear. I'm just stringing together my thoughts on this topic from reading trucking chat rooms. I definitely don't claim to be an expert on relationships, nonetheless trucking relationships. However, as an outsider looking in, it would seem as though a trucker's relationship faces more or less the same problems as any other relationship. They just manifest differently, which requires different solutions.
I will say this, look, I know people like to believe that truckers can be out there cheating left and right, and to a certain degree, you kind of could. But I'll be real, it's actually probably not as easy as it seems. You're on the road, you're working, you're trucking it up for you to be building relationships. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Yeah, there are some truckers out there that have, hyenas. They got a chick over here and a chick over there. But for the most part, I mean, you're just trucking it up. Now, for the dudes that want to get lot lizards, I don't, most of those dudes are single dudes for the most part. Are there some married dudes that go ahead and try to get themselves, Spencer, try to get themselves a lot lizard? Yeah, I'm sure there are. But most of those dudes are single dudes. And I'm going to tell you guys this right off the rip. As much as I say, shout out to all my troqueros out there and all that stuff, because we're out there moving America, I'll be real with you guys. A lot of truckers are some straight weirdos. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I ain't sugarcoating that. A lot of truckers out there are some straight weird ass mofos. So while I give them a shout out, like, hey, shout out to my troqueros out there in respects of what they do, because we're all out there on the road. That's not me saying shout outs to all my truckers, like, hey man, they're all a bunch of honest people. Like, nah, dog, some of you dudes are some weird ass dudes, Holmes. Some of you are some weird ass dudes. And some of them, I question what they do with their pets. Anyway, let's go.
I don't think anyone watching will be surprised when I say the majority of people talking about what it's like to be a trucker's spouse are female, and they all seem to have similar gripes. I'm sure the points I'm going to bring up may cause spouse warfare-induced PTSD, but I figured I'd recap them nonetheless. A lot of them were discussing the issue of their husbands being away from home as a trade-off situation, that if the money were better, the sacrifice of being on the road could make the distance between each other worth it. However, most of them believe their spouses are capable of finding local work outside.
Which is one of the biggest problems there is today. Why is that one of the biggest problems there is today? Are the rates really that bad? Okay, no, not really. Some drivers are going to say that I'm full of it and that they are extremely bad. Here's what happened during COVID. The market of trucking went through the roof. The rates went through the roof. It skyrocketed. Dudes were getting paid over $4 a mile. Okay, that is insane. And because of that, the truck market got flooded with so many people that just dove into the trucking industry, buying more trucks, buying equipment, because the market was so ridiculously insane. They were overpaying. They were paying double, sometimes even more than double. Now that COVID is gone, I'm not saying people can't get COVID anymore, but the whole pandemic thing is gone. The rates have dropped back. So whatever people got used to at that time when the rates were through the freaking roof, where people were straight making bank, now you're just making a regular trucker wage.
Side of the trucking industry that pays better and allows them to be more present in family life. The reading of negative trucking relationship anecdotes started to wear on me, so I decided to look into the positives. This is when I stumbled across a couple named Dawn and Alice, who were married for 50 years and raised 4 children while Dawn was on the road. They had a few tips for anyone who is in the trucking relationship world. Schedule phone calls. Don't call whenever you feel like it, but schedule 2 calls every day. One of which while the kids are awake so they can talk to their dad, and another while they are in school or asleep to speak privately. Dawn also mentioned how much care he took.
I'll vouch for that. I'll get to you guys. I see you guys' chats in here. What's up, Droops? I see you guys' chats in here, man. I'll vouch for that. Schedule your phone calls. You just want to call right out of the blues. You're busy. You're busy. And you get to drive yourself insane. Okay, you get all up in your head. Okay, is he really busy or is he doing something else? Like, no, he's really busy. But schedule the calls. Hey, I'll call you around this time.
In telling his partner where he is along his route and where he is delivering each load. Knowing where Dawn was in the country gave Alice a great sense of security, which allowed her to feel like.
With technology now, I mean, yeah, all this stuff is pretty simple right here.
Part of the work life. Although the most important piece of advice Dawn and Alice mentioned was to work out a deal and plan the days when the driver is home. The first day at home, Alice kept the kids quiet, cooked a meal, and Dawn zoned out in front of the TV napping and relaxing after being burnt out from driving. The following days, Dawn would get up early and start the chore list with the kids. They were to have a minimum of 2 family dinners while Dawn was home for his 4-day stint, and then Alice got him packed and ready to leave for the next route. One of the most eyebrow-raising solutions to the problem of spending long durations apart, I found, was partners teaming up and hitting the road together. Then I thought, well, that has to be a pretty rare occurrence, but upon looking deeper into it, it's not as uncommon as I assumed. Now,
yeah, I've talked about that before. Your spouse can get a license and you guys can jump on the truck together and be a team. However, if you thought your relationship was strong by spending time apart and making it work, man, it has to be that much stronger. You guys spending that much time together in a very closed environment every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month.
Again, I have no experience in this arena, so in an effort to relay the pros and cons of the dynamic duo situation, I had to defer to chat rooms. And here's what I found. Pro, and probably the most obvious one, is the chance to drive more miles and in turn make more money. Con, despite being separated by just a few feet, opposite sleeping schedules can shatter the illusion that you'd get even more time together. Pro, even if you're
Very true, right? Because if you're driving teams, the truck needs to keep moving. The truck doesn't stop. That's the point of having teams. So when you're driving, your spouse is sleeping. All right. When your time is up, they jump in the driver's seat. Time for you to get your rest. And you guys keep switching off. But the truck keeps on moving.
Spouse is asleep beside you, the long-lasting feeling of loneliness can be erased. Con, I think we can all imagine the arguments that would arise if one spouse is a better driver than the other. Pro, it can eliminate some of the issues team drivers typically face, such as disputes over sleeping quarters or personality conflicts. So what does the data say? Is there a crisis of divorce within the trucking industry? Well, surprisingly, it points towards the answer no. In 2010, a consensus study was done on divorce rates by occupation. Dancers, including the exotic ones, posted a 43% divorce rates. Bartenders with a 30.
Hold on. Oh, dancers, especially the exotic ones, right? So strippers, homie. Okay, so strippers have it worse. All right. Okay, we got it.
A consensus study was done on divorce rates by occupation. Dancers, including the exotic ones, posted a 43% divorce rates.
Hey, so truckers, we don't have it that bad, Holmes. Strippers have it worse.
Bartenders with a 38%, roofers 27%, sailors 26%, and way down the line coming in at 19%.
Okay, so dancers, especially the exotic ones, 43%. Bartenders. Now I told you guys, well, I don't know if you guys watched the roundtable or not. I actually, years ago, I dated a stripper and a bartender. And I'll tell you guys this, you do not get time with them like that, because Fridays, Saturdays, the weekends, that is their big money days. So me personally, I would go to the strip club. I would go to the bar and hang out with them there, on their break or whatever. And, you're at a bar. They entertain you with the beers. You're at a strip club, they entertain you there at the strip club too, man. But again, it's like their days off is like during the day. But at nighttime, especially on Fridays and Saturdays, dog, that's their big money day. Roofers, sailors. Yeah, I can see the sailors, and then truckers, huh? Okay.
Were truckers. This is well below the national standard, which, depending on where you look, will give you numbers between 40 to 50% of marriages in America ending in divorce. Well, that's all from me, folks. What do you think? Are divorces as prevalent as they seem by personal accounts? Do you have any tips for viewers who may be trying to keep their relationship on the road? Let us know in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with new content, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Enough of that. Okay. Now, because the divorce rate isn't as high as most people would think it is, it doesn't mean that people are happy. I come across so many people that are very unhappy in their marriage, right? Now, there is one thing that I would say, and this was brought out to me by another driver, and I thought, that's interesting, man. I never even thought about that. Is that actually truckers, depending on who the couple is, okay, depending on who the couple is. But he pointed out to me that he has more sex with his wife than other husbands that are not on the road. And I kind of thought, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I come across a lot of dudes, man, that are husbands where they probably just have sex with their wives like 2, 3 times a year. Once they've been married for so many years, it's like they're not even knocking the boots like that anymore. But because this guy, the one that pointed that out to me, because he's gone, and he wasn't even gone that long. He's gone for like 3 weeks. He's like gone for 3 weeks, comes home for like 2, 3 days, and then he's gone again for 3 weeks. So he's like, dog, every time I go home, we're smashing. And I thought, yeah. So I started asking more drivers, and a lot of drivers, not all drivers, but a lot of drivers were telling me the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, every time they go home, them and their wives, they're smashing, dog. They're knocking the boots, Holmes, And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess I could see that. It's something to look forward to, as opposed to you guys living together. And I don't know, a lot of couples just don't have sex like that. So I was just like, okay, that's something. All right, let me get to you guys' chats, man, before I wrap it up. Let me see. Oh, Measy Bolt Up. Ever get your money for the from the Chicago rap documentary? Haha, you got. I don't think that's ever coming out. I had a long conversation with him about 2 years ago. I don't think that's ever coming out. I work for XPO. Going Bakersfield. Is it? I used to go up to Bakersfield pretty often, man. Pretty often. I don't think it's only truck drivers. I believe that if you don't pay attention to your high period, she's going to look for someone that will. Yeah, I mean that's true too. That's true too. Um, but like I said, when it comes to trucking, it's like the career the of trucking, the lifestyle. That's why I tell people like, how do you have it at home? How do you have it at home? Because everybody around you is going to have to adapt to the trucker lifestyle. So there's some female truckers on YouTube. They single. Yeah, yeah, for sure, dog. Oh yes, yes. Most by far, most female truckers I come across are single. Let me see. Always taking girls home with me to Miami. Okay, okay. I've never been to Miami. It's a place I want to go just because I was a big fan of Miami Vice. Let's see here. All the lot lizards nowadays are drug addicts. I mean, they all look shot out. They all look sucked up. You go into a truck stop. Hey man, truck stops. Everybody got to be careful at truck stops. You know, it goes down at truck stops, man. There's a lot of things going on at truck stops. Okay. The truck stop is not an innocent place. It is not. All right. Go there, get your food, take your shower, and get out. All right. I don't recommend sleeping at a truck stop. I'd much rather sleep on an off ramp. It may be a little bit more dangerous to a certain degree, depending where on the truck stop you're parked. If you're parked somewhere like in the back of the truck stop, man, Holmes, you know, truck stops can be pretty damn dangerous. Vatos go for themselves también because they're on the road. They think they can get away with cheating on their hyena and they'll never find out. You know what, Anthony? I'll tell you this, Anthony. I'll tell you this. If a dude is gonna cheat, or if a female is gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat. You know what I mean? It really doesn't make a difference at that point. So even if that dude were home, there was something broken there. So it's like the Bible says, the light will shine in darkness. Yeah, yeah, for sure. See the truck stop in Georgia, blacks with hide underneath the trailers and jack you. You go take a piss or shit. I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you. Just because you pull into a truck stop, don't think it's safe, man. Anybody pulls into a truck stop, for one, try to park as close as you can to the store. That's one. Two, try to park under a light where it's well lit. The further back you go, I mean, truck stops can be some of the most shadiest places on planet Earth, Holmes. I'm telling you guys, man. I'm telling you guys. I ain't gonna put it all out there, but I'm telling you guys, man. It's it's not a friendly place like that. Okay. And remember what I said earlier about truckers? Some truckers are some straight weirdos, man. Straight weirdos. Capital W. And I don't, some of these dudes, like I said, I question why they have a pet and what they do with their pets. because some of these dudes are some straight weirdos. All right. And the further back you go in that truck stop and the darker it gets, the more of them dudes you're going to come across. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to tap up out of here. Got to wake up super early in the morning. Just want to come on here and talk about a few things. So, what we talk about tonight? Cain Velasquez. Thank God he's home. Hope he spends time with his son. Hope they go ahead and they start repairing the damage that was done to his son. It can take some time, it can take some years, but God bless him and his family. And I really do hope they start working on that repair on his son, because his son is damaged. Unfortunately, he's damaged, but hopefully that happens. Michael Jordan, Daytona 500. I don't know, dog. I don't really believe that he was over there trying to make moves on Tyler Reddick's son. Shouts to Tyler Reddick. That is the number 6, the 6th California driver to win the Daytona 500. Killer Cali, baby. Or they're tearing up that Daytona 500. That's right. Since 1990, the 6th California driver to do it. I don't believe it, but I don't know it. So, to me, I think people just blew it up a little bit more. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? MJ maybe could be some straight weirdo, right? And then lastly, the divorce rate with truckers. I guess if you're a trucker, you should feel good about yourself, because the ones that have it worse are strippers and bartenders, man. So yeah. All right. Hey, man, gracias for tapping in here tonight. Or if you guys are watching this in the archives, gracias to you guys. As always, familia, live your life like you're on the road. Be aware of surroundings. And always keep a safe distance. Blood makes you relate. Loyalty makes you family. Till next time, this is Ed the Troll Trucker. Over and out.